Well, Merry Christmas, Crossing Church. How are you? Anybody get wax all over themselves? Can I see your hands? Okay, that's the ones that couldn't sit still. For real, like the first service, I'm standing there and I'm holding this thing and I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do this. All of a sudden, I got wax on my hands. It's on the floor. Can we just give it up for all the people who are going to clean this up? For real. Like the second service, I got through all of Pastor Kelly's talk, and then the song started. And I'm like, if I stand here any longer, I'm going to lose my mind. I can't do this. So I had to put my candle out. Because I just don't sit still very well. Like it's not like my and it has nothing to do with anything. Merry Christmas, everybody. How are you? Okay, so you know the Christmas story. You know about shepherds and wise men and Jesus born in a manger. You know the whole gig. So I don't want to talk to you about that story. I want to talk to you about Santa Claus. That sound all right? Come on, is that all right? Okay, so I did some research on good old Saint Nick, the most amazing mythological being in the universe. Give it up for Saint Nick. So kids, you like this stuff? Santa has 31 hours to deliver 1.8 billion gifts, or billion kids their gifts tonight. He's got 31 hours. If you take the rotation of the earth and all the different time zones, he's got 31 hours to deliver 1.8 billion, with a B, gifts to kids. Santa's pretty awesome. If I say Santa's awesome. Yeah, give me a list of that. Santa's sleigh with one small toy for every kid on earth weighs approximately 353,000 tons. That's all, yeah. That's it. Everybody say Santa's awesome. Yeah. To accomplish his yearly mission, Santa makes 822.6 visits per second. Everybody say Santa's awesome. That's incredible, right? Oh, no, this is really important too. Santa's sleigh moves at 650 miles per second, or 3,000 times the speed of sound, to reach every child's home on Christmas Eve. Yeah, everybody say Santa's awesome. Give it up for Saint Nick. Most amazing mythological being in the universe. Now I want to talk to you about a different stat. There's a Bible. In the Bible, there's this weird stat about God. Seriously, there's this passage of scripture, Isaiah chapter 40 and 41, that gives us stats similar to the stats you just heard about this mythological being named Santa, about God himself. And I want to just kind of go over a couple of stats about who God is, about what we say about God when we say God is awesome or God is big. The first stat I will give you is Isaiah 40 verse 12 says, who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hands. Isaiah 40, 12. What he's basically saying is this, that God can take all the water in the entire world and it fits very easily in the hollow part of his hand. That's awesome. Come on, say that's awesome. Let me just see how much water I can fit in the hollow of my hand. Not so awesome. I mean, it's the wrong hand. Let me try. I can get more. We'll try this way. See what I got. I got a tablespoon. And there you go. Seriously, I got about a tablespoon. God gets every drop of water on the entire earth, fits very easily in the palm of his hand. I'll give you another stat about God. That's kind of interesting. Isaiah 40 verse 12 goes on to say this, or with the breadth of his hand marked off the heavens. Or in other words this, that God is so enormous, so big, so beyond us, that he can palm not just the planet or the galaxy or lots of galaxies, but the entire universe. He palms it. When he shows up, stands around, he's like, what up? His thumb hits one end of the universe. His pinky hits the other, and he's like, boom! I got this. Let's just see how well I am at, like my brother's watching online. He was a basketball maniac. He was awesome. Let's see if I can, I'm trying here right now. Hold on. Yes, I got it. Yeah, 1, 2, I lost it. I got about, I'll try again. Oh, here we go. I got this. Yeah, oh, so close. Now, I know that's like, that you're not really catching how big the universe is, so let me see if I can help you with this just for a second. Our closest star is 4.2 light years away. Our closest star, besides the sun, 4.2 light years. At 37,000 miles per hour, it would take us 80,000 years to reach it. And God does not palm that distance. He palms not just, oh, by the way, just so you know, our Milky Way galaxy, I asked people smarter than me, is 100,000 light years across. And he doesn't palm just one galaxy or two galaxies or 10 galaxies. He palms the entire universe. He's like, what up? This is mine. Put it in his back pocket, go for a walk, get it out, dribble it around, kick it, whatever he wants to do. When we say that there was a big bang a long time ago and God created the world, I want you to understand that God wasn't like in the world when he created it. He created the universe in a second, and it's still just microscopic to him. God's really awesome. Come on, say, God is awesome. We'll go a little further. Isaiah 40 verse 15 says this, surely the nations are like a drop in the bucket to you. Or if you take, okay, just check it out. What's the most powerful country in the world? China. What's the most powerful country in the world? America. Everybody say America. America. Come on, say America. America, most powerful nation on the planet. If you take America, you combine it with Russia, you throw in a little bit of China and every other country that you can think of too, the combined total power is one drip. Crap, that was a lot of drips. Is one drip in comparison to God. I want you to understand that you think our military is big. You think our nation is powerful. You think China or Russia or whatever country you want to say, that's really, really awesome. I want you to understand that we're not even one drip in comparison to God's greatness and God's awesomeness and God's bigness. God's really, really awesome. I say God's awesome. This is actually what this book teaches. This is what we actually teach about God. I'll give you another one. Isaiah 40 verse 26, it goes a little further. Isaiah 40, 26 says this, lift up your eyes and look to the heavens, or look at the sky at night. Who created all these? Who brings out the starry host of the stars one by one and calls forth each one of them by name? Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. You know what that verse just said? That God created all the stars, but he also not only created them, but he knows where every single one is at. He knows everything that they are doing every second of every hour of every minute of every day. And on top of that, he knows all of their name and he never lost one once. And once again, I had to talk to people smarter than me. That's about everybody. According to scientists, there are, in what we know of the universe, there are 300 sextillion stars. That's a 3 with 23 zeros. A 3 with 23 zeros after it. And God knows everyone by name. He knows when they came into existence. He knows when they become black holes and go out of existence. He never loses one. He never misplaces one. He never forgets who they are or calls them the wrong. I can't even call my kids by the right name. Brad and Hall, Aiden. Seriously, I want you to understand that us in comparison to God, God is really, his mind is so far beyond whatever we could understand. God is really, really awesome. I say God is awesome. I'll give you one more stat. This is kind of interesting. It's Isaiah 4. You should read Isaiah 40 and 41. It's trippy stuff, man. It's like just stat after stat after stat about how awesome God is. Isaiah 40 verse 15. He picks up the whole earth as though it were a what? And so I had our staff get me a bucket of sand. There's the lid. There it went. And so I'm gonna see if I can get some sand out. I'm gonna just try. Merry Christmas. You didn't choose to sit on the front row, you know. Nobody made you sit there. Okay, let me see if I can just get out one grain of sand. And by the way, they got me big grains of sand because they were like, I couldn't get the little ones out. So like, this is not the fine sand. This is like, I got like 5. Hold on. I can do this. Ha! I got one right on the end of my finger. Isn't that awesome? Come on, give it up for the little grain of sand. The verse we just read says that God picks up the earth as though it were this. From his perspective, the planet itself is nothing but a little it's like Horton, here's a who. Hello! We are here. Yeah. That was awesome. We are here. See, why am I telling you all this? I want you to get a perspective on what we actually believe when we say our God is awesome, or our God is big, or our God is strong. The universe is nothing in comparison to him. He has no problem taking the universe, palming it. If he decides to, he can kick it to the curb. Our little planet, our little solar system is so small and insignificant to him. If he wanted to, he'd flick it and not notice that he flicked it. God is really, really awesome. Come on, say God is awesome. And then here's what's really trippy. This book, oh my gosh, check this out. This book says that big, ginormous, unbelievable God became human. That this God who palms the universe became a human being. He became flesh and blood. He actually, this blows my mind, that this big, ginormous God moved into the womb of a 14-year-old girl. Like I said before, ultimate cosmic power, itty bitty living space. To quote the genie from Aladdin. Right. That's crazy stuff, but this is what our Bible says, Philippians chapter 2, verse 5 through 7. That's why you're here tonight on Christmas Eve. We're celebrating a ginormous God moving into the neighborhood. Philippians 2, verse 5 through 7. Though Jesus was God, he did not consider equality with God as something to cling to. He was God. He's not the Son of God. He's not a guy like God. He's not a good prophet or a good teacher or just a good guy. He's not just religious. He was God. He did not consider equality with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up all of his divine privileges. He took the humble position of a slave and was born as a human being on our little speck of sand. That's crazy. Second verse, John chapter 1, verse 14 says, the Word, or Jesus, became flesh and made his dwelling among men. Think about what that means for a second, that the creator of the world had to be born, learned how to get sick. Like, oh, this is what it means to get sick and throw up, get a runny nose, hit his thumb with a hammer, had to figure out how to walk and talk and read and write. He got tempted. Think about that. This creator of the universe got tempted. He experienced rejection. How does a God that enormous decide to come to earth and experience rejection from little insignificant us? But he did. He experienced rejection and suffering and pain. And ultimately, this amazing, ginormous, supernatural, beyond comprehension. By the way, the ancient theologians always says, God is so beyond us, he is wholly other. Everybody say wholly other. That God is so beyond us, we will never grasp his ginormousness. Just like we can't understand the universe, we're never gonna understand how big God, and this God came to earth, lived a perfect life, died like you have to die. And here's my question. You're here on Christmas Eve, but I gotta ask the question that really we ought to always ask. Why the heck would he do that? I'm just saying, if I'm the dude that created this, like, by the way, the message says, God put on flesh and blood and moved into the neighborhood, John 1:14. That's what it actually says. I wouldn't move into your neighborhood. I know you're bad neighbors. I'd just be like this, flick, done, I'm out. I'll start over. Why would God go to all the trouble, go to all the work, go to all the effort to give up divine privilege and ultimate power and control to move into your neighborhood? I think that's a very fair question, don't you think? Because that's what we're celebrating on Christmas. We're saying that occurred, that this God came to earth and gave it all up. Why would anyone do that? And I would answer it with 2 R words. I just want to give you 2 R words, and then I'm going to wrap it up. First R word is the word reveal. Everybody say reveal. Jesus came to clear up the misconceptions about what God is like. Jesus came to earth to reveal God to you. He wanted to clear up all the misconceptions about God. Think of it like this. So I have up here the National Enquirer. Great magazine, fine reading right here. Right? Okay, you know that they sell a lot more magazines if they put Angelina and Brad on the cover, but then they threw in Angelina, Brad, George Clooney, and Julia Roberts. They were trying to make some bank here. Yeah, so they got all 4 of them on the front. Now, these magazines are designed to help you understand something about celebrities. Know what they're really like, what's really going on behind the scenes, how they really act, what they really think, is this stuff true? No. How do you know? You don't know them. You don't know them. right? Do you really know any of these people? No, neither do I. So what we end up with is a whole lot of misconceptions, a whole lot of rumor. I think they're this. Well, I think they're that. My daughter, she has this one singer right now. She's like so like, oh my gosh, this girl's amazing and she loves her dearly. And like she's got to see her sing for Jingle Ball the other night and she was so excited. And there's a story that came out in one of these magazines about how this girl, she's so stuck on herself that after her concert, she'll make her staff carry her to her bus because she's so tired. Is that true? Maybe, maybe not. Somebody took a picture of her and maybe she hurt her ankle that night and she needed to get carried to the bus. We don't know, but somebody made up a story about this poor girl's life. Could be true, might not be true. At the end of the day, will you ever know? No, because you don't know them. Think about God for a second. Think about all the misconceptions we have about that God. Think about all the rumors you've heard over the years, all the stories that you have been told, all the things people have said about how God is this and God is that, and God thinks like this, and God's gonna judge you for that, and God's gonna act like this, and if you don't stop that, think about all the rumors and the misconceptions. And finally, Jesus was like, I gotta set the story straight about what my character is really like. I will come to earth and show them what's really going on in me. This is what the verse says. This is John 1, verse 18. It says this, no one has seen God. Nobody has ever seen God. Why? How do you see something that's bigger than the universe that can take the whole universe and go for a walk? How do you see that? No one has ever seen God, but the unique one, Jesus, who is himself God, is near the Father's heart. He revealed what? God to us. Jesus came to clear up all your misconceptions. I think God's angry. I think God's mad. I think God's gonna lay the smack down. I think he's gonna send lightning bolts, or I think God is this. I think God winks at sin and doesn't really care. I think God is all this. And I would tell you, stop looking at what you think God is like and look at Jesus. Jesus tells you what God is like. And what do you know about Jesus? It's so good. Like this should give you so much safety and so much peace. What do you know about Jesus? You know, he was respectful, kind, gracious and loving, and turned the other cheek, and walked in strength to his own death when he did not have to. He chose to. That is strength and love combined in such a beautiful, like seriously, the next time you go through something hard and you're like, why is God doing this to me? Don't look at your circumstance. Put Jesus between you and your circumstance and look at his loving arms. Look at the voice and the words that he spoke over you. He said, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. He said, do not fear. He said, I bring you peace. I will bring you joy. I'll walk with you and give you strength. See, I want you to understand, Jesus came to make sure that you did not have an image of God kind of like we have about celebrities. He's gonna clear it up and help you know that, oh, by the way, this is so good. If he's gonna go to all the trouble to show up to explain God to you, apparently he likes you. Christmas takes away the misconception that God doesn't care, because if he didn't care, he would have flicked you to the curb a long time ago. But instead, he shows up in person, in the flesh, and said, God is for you, not against you. He's got a plan and a purpose. Are you with me, church? Jesus came to reveal what God is really, really like. I'll give you a second thing about this Jesus. Why would he come to earth? First word I gave you was reveal. Second word I would give you is rescue. Everybody say rescue. Jesus came to save us from our own self-destructive choices. Jesus came to save us from our own self-destructive choices. And I'm just gonna be really honest, I make a ton of self-destructive choices. You're not laughing because you don't know me. If you know me, like the last service, Pastor Bruce was in here. He says, if I ever ride with Pastor Eric, I have to grab a hold of the handle in the car, and I know that's the one time that I can always be a backseat driver because I will stay alive. You're not even making this up. Like Pastor Jason says that when I ride with you, I always pray. The other day, we were in the car, and I didn't see the stop sign. She was mad at me the whole afternoon. I just didn't see it. I make self-destructive choices, I'm sorry. Like it's not just driving, it's all kinds of stuff. Like I was trying to light a fire in the backyard, and so I put like a big cup of kerosene in the fire pit and then threw a match on and about burned my eyebrows off. The flames went up to like 20 feet. It was such a big explosion that the windows rattled in the house. I just make self-destructive choices. Come on, who's ever made a self-destructive choice? Can I see your hands? The rest, if you don't have a hand up right now, I need to learn something from you. And Jesus came to save us from this. Like if it helps, my son Aiden did the opening tonight, did the little drummer boy song. Didn't he do a good job with the beatbox? He did awesome. Anyway, he's about 4, maybe 5. We were camping up north, and we went along with the Keaches. Pastor Jason leads our Zimmerman campus, and so their family and ours went camping. We stayed at a cabin. It was really, really cool. And so morning came, and Pastor Jason and I were like, let's go fishing. So because life is always about fishing. So the two of us took off, went fishing for the day, and the kids decided they were going to go swimming. Aiden is about 4 or 5. Connor, Jason's son, is 8. And there's a bunch of other kids, and they're all kind of swimming. And Kelly and Tracy are up in the house, and the cabin is a long way from the dock. And Aiden's in the water, and he's swimming, and Connor's kind of standing on the dock. And all of a sudden, for whatever reason, I don't think Aiden even knows, he decided to take his flotation device off. I don't know if it was what was it, Aiden? He forgot a life jacket, but he's wearing this tube thing, and for whatever reason, he decided to take the ring off, and he was in about like 10 to 15 feet of water. He's 4, maybe 5, and he just was like, hey, I think I got this, and for whatever reason, took it off. And he sank like a stone. I mean, just, and Kelly is up in the house, and she hears Connor on the dock start yelling, Aiden's drowning, Aiden's drowning, Aiden's drowning. And she says, like, her heart jumps to her chest, and she jumped out of her chest, and she comes running out of the house. She runs down to the dock, trying to get there as fast, but she knows she's not gonna make it in time. And Connor, on the end of the dock, this 8-year-old kid still wearing his life jacket, jumps in, gets down next to him, and then reaches down and grabs him by his hair and pulls him up. Because Aiden's got cool hair. And it kind of pulls him up and holds on to him until Kelly could get there and pull him to safety. Eric, why are you telling me this story? Why are you saying this? I want you to understand this is what Jesus did. He dove into your struggle. He dove into your story. He dove into your situation and said, I can reach out, I can grab a hold of you, and I can rescue you and pull you to safety. This is why Jesus came. He came to rescue us from our own self-destructive choices. Let's see if we can clear up a misconception about God real quick. John chapter 3, verse 17. This is what Jesus says about himself. For God did not send his son into the world to what? Condemn. Notice he did not come to earth to make you feel miserable about yourself. You already feel bad enough about you. You don't need somebody else pointed out. So do I. For he did not send us into the world, or the son into the world to condemn the world, but to what? Save the world. Let's just imagine for a second that Connor's on the dock and Aiden pulls off this little tube and drops like a stone, and Connor's standing there and going, well, that was stupid, Aiden. You deserve what you get, man. You're a moron. Why'd you do that? Do you do that to somebody who's drowning? No. You don't condemn somebody who made a dumb choice and end up in a bad situation. Instead, you just dive in and rescue them. You put your own self at risk. This is exactly what Jesus did. He dove into your world. He's not asking how you got in your situation, how you got in your struggle, how you ended up in the places you've ended up. He doesn't care how you ended up there. He just wants to rescue you from yourself. Is this good news? He did not come into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world. Now, it's interesting, another thing I mentioned about this whole rescue gig. You ever notice that, by the way, I don't think I could ever be a lifeguard because I would forget to pay attention. What? That's not a joke. Nobody should hire me for that job. I got hired as a I got to be a volunteer crossing guard once, and I got let go by the school. I'm not even making it up because I forgot to pay attention. But imagine for a second there's a lifeguard and he's gonna jump in and rescue someone who's drowning, and So he jumps in to rescue this drowning person, and this drowning person fights him. What do they teach lifeguards to do when somebody starts to struggle and fight back? Punch him in the head, man. Just punch him in the head, get him to stop struggling so you can pull him to safety. Can I tell you, Jesus will never do that for you? He dove into your world to save you, but if you want to fight him, he will just be like, cool, you want to drown, it's your own life. I'm not going to punch you in your head and force you to follow me and force you to serve me and force you to get a better life. If you want a better life, if you want my wisdom and my discernment and my help, if you want an almighty, all-powerful, all-consuming, awesome God to help you in your little life, you have to choose to allow it to happen. He will never force it on you. And that's the whole Christian gig right there in a nutshell. We're saying we believe, by the way, this is not politically correct to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Ready? All religions are not the same. Lots of religions got all-powerful, almighty gods. Only one religion has this God coming to earth and sacrificing himself because he loves you. Only one. And then he says it's your choice. If you let me, I can rescue you. If you let me, I can help you. I'm not gonna talk smack about how you got to that situation or how you ended up in that place or how you ended up in that struggle. I'm not gonna talk bad about you. I'm not gonna be mad at you. I'm not embarrassed by you, but I can help. Just trust me. Basically, there's just two words. It's save now. In Hebrew, it was the word Hosanna. Everybody say Hosanna. It literally means save now. Save me, rescue me. I don't want to live this way. I don't want to act this way. I don't want this kind of life. And I can't figure out a way to get out of this myself. But if you're really the one who holds the universe in the palm of your hands, then apparently you know how the story's supposed to go. You know how it can be better. You know how to save if anybody does. If you built this thing, you can save me. So I'm going to turn my life over to you. That's what the Christmas story is about. Jesus dove into this little speck of a planet and said, if you trust me, I will save you. It's your choice. And a lot of people said, I'd rather kill you than be saved. But notice they didn't be like, I don't feel like making a choice. Everybody chooses. Right now, you're going to choose. You can be like, meh, rather do my own gig. God's going to be like, well, cool, that's your deal. Have fun. Or you can say yes to letting him reach out, maybe even grab you by your hair and pull you to safety. You're like, how would I do that? It's real simple. Romans chapter 10, verse 9 says it like this. If you declare with your mouth, Jesus is what? If you declare with your mouth, Jesus is Lord, and you believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be, what's the last word? Rescued. Rescued. Now, I'm going to say this really important. Notice that it doesn't say just believe. Notice there are two things involved in being rescued. If you declare with your what? With your mouth that he is Lord, he is master, he is God, he is awesome. He actually is who he says he claims to be. He's the guy that holds the universe together. He is my Lord. Jesus said, if you deny me before men, I will deny you before the Father. But if you publicly declare me before men, I will declare you before my Father. See, lots of you in here, lots of you watching on live stream, you're going, hey, I always believe. You know, man, I just always believe. That's enough, man. I always believe. It is not enough to just always believe. That's why you're still drowning. You got to take it from belief to declaration. I declare with my mouth that I believe you are actually who you say you are. I trust you and you alone for my salvation, for my hope, for my life, for my everything. Here's my question. When did you do this? I didn't ask you when did you believe, but when did you declare it? I believe this story, that this amazing God moved into a 14-year-old girl, grew up, lived a perfect life, and then died for me. When did you declare that? I did at 17. Sitting by a campfire. I finally said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired of feeling like I'm always drowning. You know how that feels? I'm tired of feeling like I'm alone. I'm tired of feel like nobody cares and there's no hope and I got nobody to turn to. I don't want to live this way any longer. And so if you're really God, and check this out, not only big, but also good. Because that's what this story says. He's really, really good. Then I will give you my life. You could do that right now. This, like, maybe you haven't ever done that before, but this Christmas Eve could be the moment where you finally declare, I give lordship, leadership, not belief, leadership of my life to Jesus Christ. What he says, I will follow. What he says, I will obey. What he asks of me, I will do, because I know he's God and I'm not. So what if you did that tonight? What if tonight was the night, this Christmas Eve, where just like God invaded the earth 2,000 years ago, you let him invade your personal space a little bit. You let him invade your own heart. You let him wreck some stuff and change some stuff and adjust some stuff and ultimately grab you by the hair and save you. Can you just close your eyes and bow your head for just a minute? Those of you watching on live stream too, if you could just close your eyes, bow your head. I want you to analyze your own heart, your own soul. When did you choose to make Jesus Lord? He's God. Not when did you decide, oh, I believe, but I actually declared it with my mouth. You could do it right now. Oh, like seriously, right now, this moment, all you would have to do is just pray a simple prayer. If you want to pray it, you can pray it out loud because we declare with our mouth. You just say something like this, Jesus Christ, right now I give you my life. I believe you're God. I believe you came to earth for me. I believe you can save me and rescue me. I ask you to rescue me now. Save now. Forgive my sins. Forgive me for going my own way. I make you my forgiver and leader. I trust you. I declare with my mouth, tonight you are God and Lord of my life. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, keep your heads bowed and eyes closed for just a second. I'm gonna ask a tough question because the passage says that we have to declare it publicly before men if he's gonna declare us before the Father. And so I want you to, if you just prayed that and you meant that, you're like, man, this is my life, this is my heart, this is right now, I give Jesus everything. He's my Lord and my God. If this was the time that you just prayed that and you meant this with everything you got, can you just be honest enough about that and put your hand in the air? Could you put your hand up? Come on, put them up, all over the room, all over the room. Put them up, like online too. Put them up, leave them up. Just put your hands up, leave them up. There's hands going up everywhere, everywhere. Keep your hands up. Why? Because Jesus says, if you declare me before man, I'll declare you before my Father. He sees your hands. He sees your faith. This is a public declaration. This is the start of new life. I follow Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm going to obey Jesus. He's God. He's Lord. He's awesome. I listen to him. I trust him. I will follow him. Can we just give it up for every hand that just went up just now? Absolutely. Can you stand to your feet? See, I want you to know that Jesus Christ moved into lives all over the place in this room tonight. But he just doesn't want to meet you on Christmas Eve. He wants to meet you every day. He wants to speak to you and talk with you through the power of the Spirit. And so we just want to declare boldly one more time that we adore him, that he is worthy of our praise, that this great, big, huge, magnificent God would come to earth for little old us. Will you sing this with us?